Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. My name is Megan, and if you're new here, I'm so glad you stopped by because this is my Greenstalk Garden Tour and Harvest where I share everything that's going on with the Greenstalks while we do some harvesting. Now, before we get started, I do want to share a few things. Recently, Greenstalk came out with a new color called Dragonfly, and I want to show you the seed starting kit, and we're going to use that as our harvest basket. And they also came out with these new sprout markers, and they are so adorable. I love when they come out with new accessories to help us as we garden, so I will quickly show that to you, but I do want to share a few things that I'm going to be changing on this channel. So as far as the changes when it comes to my channel, it's not really a big change. I'm kind of going back to what I was doing before, and what I did before was a Greenstalk Garden Tour one week and then a backyard garden tour the next, and I just went every other. However, when I share my backyard garden tours, I'm also going to be sharing a little bit of the Greenstalk, so I'm technically going to be sharing the Greenstalks every week, except one week will be completely focused just on Greenstalks, and then the backyard garden tour will be some of my raised beds, my bags, and a little bit of the Greenstalks. And what this does is it allows me to still share the Greenstalks weekly, but also to share the backyard garden tour, because with school coming up and my time getting a little bit more limited, plus friends, I really want to do the Greenstalk little mini series of how-tos, talk more about their accessories and just more of how to do things with the Greenstalks. I just felt like this would be a lot better for my schedule, and so I wanted to share that with all of you so that you are aware of what it is that I'm doing. And this allows me to really focus and spend my time out here when I'm just talking about the Greenstalks or the backyard garden with a little bit of the Greenstalks. That way I'm not feeling like I have to rush or do anything like that, because I want to be able to share everything as much as I can with all of you. All right, now I want to show you the seed starting kit. It's the Dragonfly color, and it is so beautiful. All right, look at how beautiful this color is, friends. So this is their Dragonfly. This is their newest color, and this is their seed starting kit. It comes with domes, a watering tray underneath, and this is what we're going to be using. I'll take the seed kits off, but we're going to use this as our harvesting basket, because you could use these as harvesting baskets too, which this is one of the things that I really enjoy about Greenstalks, is that their accessories, their kits are multi-purpose. I love to have things in my garden, tools, accessories that are multi-purpose, and so we're going to be using that. But I had to show you, friends, isn't it so pretty? So let me show you the sprout markers. By the way, I don't want to forget this, because I am all about organization, and Greenstalk sends this with their kits. And what's great about this is you can write down and stay organized with what you're planting, and it gives you a lot of tips, because Greenstalk is all about helping, which is one of the reasons why I love Greenstalks. And in the very back, if you want to reprint these, you can just scan that right here and print some more. So I absolutely love this. And here we go. Look at these sprout markers. Okay, let me open it. And you can get a pack of 32. Look at how cute that is. I mean, look at how sweet. Okay, it was focusing, now it's not. Okay, are you gonna focus? It's not focusing. Okay, there we go. So what you can do is write what you planted. You could write the date right here, and then it fits in those seed starting kits, and the dome fits right over this too, so you won't have an issue with that. Plus, you could use this for other things. You can make your little divots in your soil, plant your seeds with this. You could also use this as a way to label in your Greenstalk. I mean, sometimes the possibilities are endless with things, but I just had to show you. I don't know why my camera, okay. I just had to show you the sprout marker because it is super cute, and it's one of their newer accessories. Well, as usual, we are out here in the evening time because it has still been very, very hot here. Now, today was a little bit nicer, so thank goodness it is cool enough for the evening tour right now. But I want to show you the 3-tier over on that side, and then I have a lot to show you here, and then we will end on the driveway. By the way, I know this is not a backyard garden tour, but look at all these cucumbers, friends. I mean, it is, yeah, crazy how many cucumbers are growing right now. I'll share this more on the backyard garden tour, but I just had to quickly show you. When it comes to this 3-tier Greenstalk, I actually did some cleaning. I want to say last week, a lot of the tiny Tim and I want to say the orange hat dwarf tomatoes were just done, and some of the sunflowers, like I have to pull all those out. So I'm doing a little bit of cleaning. I don't know what I'm going to plant in here yet because I'm trying to figure out when to start some fall veggies. Being that I'm in zone 8B, it still stays pretty hot here, so I don't know how much I want to start my fall veggies yet because I'm trying to figure out what I want to plant next. I still have a pretty long growing season because we're zone 8B, so I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'll try some squash in here. Maybe I'll plant parsnips ahead of time. I'm not sure, but I did want to show you that we have some tomatoes, and I believe that's the Purple Rain. Hold on, let me check. Yes, that is the Purple Rain. I had to double check that. It doesn't have a tag, but I think the bottom tiers I had put the Purple Rain. So I'm excited. I hope I get a Purple Rain tomato because they looked gorgeous on the seed packet. The other ones that are doing really good in here are the Bushing Roma tomatoes, and I'll show you also once we get over there on that little trellis deck with all my Greenstalks on there. There's a lot of Roma bush tomatoes that are growing pretty good, and I think considering how tall Roma bush tomatoes can get, this isn't too bad. I might consider putting them all at the very bottom of the tier, but so far I'm kind of liking it. It's my first time growing them in the Greenstalk this year, and they're not too bad. And these over here are the Rio Grande, and they're doing pretty good too. The Greek dwarf basil is doing phenomenal in here. This is one of my very favorite varieties to grow in the Greenstalk. They don't get super big or large. I do try to snip off the tops even if I don't need them so that they don't get too bushy, because they can get pretty bushy. And I also don't want them to flower yet because I have a pretty long growing season. Here's what I'm really excited to show you all. Now, a lot of plants in here I've had to pull out. The leaves have just gotten all burnt because the heat has just been really intense this summer. Even though I've kept these watered for the most part, it's just been really intense. So I'm grateful for whatever I have been getting. But we are going to harvest some of these tomatoes, and I'm really excited to see how well they've been doing. A lot of these tomatoes that I have growing in here are new varieties. So we're trying out the Roma bush, which is not a new variety, but it's new growing in the Greenstalk. And then I did buy a lot of hybrid Celebrity Plus and just hybrid Celebrity, and I believe these are the hybrid Celebrity Plus tomatoes, so we're going to go ahead and harvest these. All right, look at this one. I'm going to harvest one, and then I'm just going to grab the rest because there's so much I have to show you, and it's already getting dark out. Look at how beautiful that is. Absolutely stunning. Something I do want to quickly mention, I don't plan to take any of these plants out. I'm going to let them grow as much as possible because sometimes what I've noticed that even in the summer heat, when a plant looks like it's going to die, if there's still a little bit of green, like for instance, I don't know if you can see that up there because I have the trees in the background right there, that may continue to grow. And because the stem is still pretty green, I'm gonna give that some time because I'm not in a hurry to pull them out. Now, when plants completely die on me, I take them out. So for instance, this one, I wanna say this was the yellow patio snacking tomato, completely dead, tore it out. And I believe this one was the independent. Yeah, the independent tomato, completely dead, took it out. But if I still see a little bit of green, I will leave it in there to see if I'll get more because I've done that before and I've been able to harvest quite a bit. Oh, and as far as my peppers, look at that. I saw this the other day and I'm like, I cannot wait to share this with everybody. So this is a yellow monster and I'm waiting for this to turn yellow, and it's in the bottom pocket right here. Look at how beautiful that is. We've already harvested one. I used it in that beautiful summer sale that I shared at the end of the video. And we have a beautiful chocolate. Let me focus that. Okay. We have a beautiful chocolate beauty pepper, which actually, you know what, friends, we're going to harvest this too because I think this is ready to go. Very beautiful. And speaking of peppers, do you remember the yellow jalapeno that I told you about? So look at how gorgeous these are. So let me harvest a couple of these and show you. These are so fun to grow and they're so pretty. Look at how beautiful that is. So I'm gonna harvest these and then we'll go on the other side. I did not see this down there. We have an Italian pepper too. I'm gonna wait till this turns red. Now I do wanna grab the Roma. So there's one over here and then I have quite a bit on the other side. Oops. Let me clip you back on there. We have some more tomatoes over here too. These tomato plants are growing pretty tall, which that is why I put some of these tomato plants on this side of the Greenstalk so that they could use this trellis. I have had ideas of using a trellis like this to grow tomatoes. In fact, I'm really considering doing something different with the beds because as much as I love my bamboo sticks, and I may still use them, I don't know, I haven't made up my mind yet, because a lot of time my tomato plants will just start to bend down and I'll just kind of do one of these things. But I don't know, I'm kind of wanting a little bit less chaoticness like this and doing something a little bit easier. Plus, I think it would just be so pretty to see a trellis with tomatoes over it and then having something planted underneath it, like a bushing tomato or some other plant where the tomato plant can shade whatever's under there. Hopefully what I said made sense, because as I grow every year, I learn something and then I always think, well, maybe I could do it differently this way to make my life easier or just to make it easier to harvest or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. I'm still brainstorming and maybe we'll do something different next year. Okay, I wanted to quickly get these cucumbers, but they are pretty high. So I'm going to try, I'm just going to go ahead and grab these real quick and then I'll show them to you. And then these two lovelies are growing from one pocket out of the Greenstalk. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab those too. All right, before it gets dark, because I still want to go on the driveway, I'm going to go ahead and start harvesting these Roma tomatoes. Actually, let me grab this tomato real quick on the side because I want to make sure that if it starts to rain a lot, it doesn't crack. I want to give you a quick view of all the Romas that are growing out of these Greenstalks. I'm very impressed. I think Roma bush tomatoes do really good. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest these. Now I did have some hornworm issues. You can see there's some biting right there. There's a big one. I think I got a little baby one too. But they did get a couple of tomatoes. However, I do have some that I can harvest. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest them. So I see a lot of tomatoes and a lot of growth over there. So I'm hoping that we're still going to be harvesting cucumbers and tomatoes in, I'm guessing maybe the next month or two, give or take. Oh, friends, I wanted to show this to you before we go on the driveway. Do you see that loofah? This is the first time I'm growing a loofah. I've always had a hard time growing them, but I am so excited. I hope I can at least grow one this year. I found one more cucumber. I do want to quickly point something out. So do you see this pink amaranth? I had the pink beauty and then there's also a white beauty. And then this is the Chinese multicolor amaranth that got really tall. Here's what I've learned in growing them this year. Yes, they get super tall, but I think they have been a great way to keep pests off the plants because you can see how much they've been bitten. Like right there, you can see how much it's been bitten. And while not every single plant is completely pest-free, I do think that it has helped. So this is probably what I'm going to be putting in the Greenstalks every year. Lastly, before we go on the driveway, because I don't want to forget, I tend to forget to show the lemonade and the black Greenstalk with the new trellis in the middle, but we do have a couple of cucumbers, and here's a beautiful red pepper that I think I'm actually going to just, well, you know what? No, I'm going to leave that for next time. I'm going to let it get a little bit red because the other side is pretty green. But we do have some tomatoes. There's a lot growing right there that you can see. I am really excited about this. These are the Roma bush tomatoes and they're looking fabulous. But I am going to grab these a little bit of cucumbers, and there's one right here and there's another one right there. And then hopefully we'll have some more growing on here. There's tomatoes growing over here too. Look at this basil. See how big the Greek dwarf basil gets? I love this basil. And I just realized there's some peppers over here. I didn't even see them. And there's some over here too. So hopefully we'll be harvesting those soon. What I want to do is start with these first. I typically end with these 2 green stalks, but because the sun is going down, there's a few things I did want to show you, because when it comes to your green stalks, in my personal experience, I've learned that placement can really make a big difference for your plants. And I'll give you an example. So I have a lot of peppers. This is pretty much all peppers, but here's what I've noticed. There's a lot of sun damage because it gets really hot in the driveway. Plus, like I said, it's just been very, very hot here. So I did not take these off because I purposely wanted to show you what happens when my green stalk is in the wrong spot. Now, for me, I don't have another spot, and I don't come out here and spin it. So what I like to do is just leave it as it is, and I'll just take those off and get rid of them, unfortunately, and then just keep the ones that are good. But what I do want to do is I want to harvest all of these jalapenos because there's a lot. All right, before I lose all lighting, because most of my green stalks over here are empty, because those are for onions and garlic, although the Tulsi Holy Basil is just doing lovely in the green stalks that I grow my garlic in. This is all volunteer, by the way. And the sweet potatoes are doing phenomenal. I did have to take off some dead leaves, but so far with these plant supports, they are doing so good. So I have 2 green stalks here at the end, and I cannot wait to harvest these come fall time. But I did want to quickly show you the shallots over here are still doing good. Most of them have died back. I'm waiting a little bit on those. My hope is to do a video just on harvesting the shallots. And friends, look at the ginger and the turmeric. Look at how gorgeous everything looks. It's beautiful. So once the fall comes, we'll be harvesting both of these green stalks as well as the bags, and we're going to compare them. The last thing I wanted to show you is this green stalk of yucca. So I did plant the entire peppercorn full of yucca, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how these do, because they do really good in bags and buckets. I'll put a picture right here so you can see what I'm talking about, because I didn't even know what it was until I started gardening. And when I first grew it, I was absolutely impressed by it, which is why I wanted to do an entire green stalk of yucca. And then this peppercorn, I plan to plant carrots in. And as you can see too, I also got all of the green stalks off the driveway, and as of right now, they're going to be here. I put the 2 3-tier black and the rusted red back over there against the wall, and then I put I want to say that's the weave texture of the 5-tier black green stalk and the 2 peppercorns there for now, until we figure out what we're going to be doing in the back, because we just haven't had time like I thought we would, which is fine. It'll just give us some more time to figure out and plan in greater detail of how we're going to put something in the back for the green stalks. All right, well, I thought I was gonna have enough light to do the ending on the driveway, but I didn't. So we're up here on my top deck. I love my top deck because we got the light, the fan is on, I'm getting that breeze, and then you can see the beautiful string lights behind me that's over the garden. Plus, as soon as I'm done, because my kitchen is right here, I'm just gonna take the vegetables off the tray and put them right into the kitchen. But with that being said, let's go ahead and see what we harvested today. All right, so I actually ended up taking the cucumbers off because one, it's too heavy, and I wanted to focus on one thing at a time. But look at those gorgeous Roma tomatoes that we harvested. Absolutely beautiful, and there's more. I think we're gonna be able to harvest more throughout August and probably going into September. I'm not really sure, by the way, what I'm going to be doing with the green stalks on that little trellis deck, as far as like if I'm going to plant anything for the fall or winter. I haven't figured that out. Now, I know going into winter, I don't like to plant all of my green stalks, just because I want to take that time to kind of just, you know, relax and do not as much, because the summer is it's intense with growing and the heat and the having to prune and keep things clean and all that fun stuff with summer gardens. But I haven't made up my mind yet, so that's why I'm also going to just let a lot of the plants just continue to grow so I can see what I can still harvest in the weeks and couple months ahead. And then we got these beautiful tomatoes. I am really impressed. First of all, this variety, I believe I said the Celebrity Hybrid tomato, I'm really impressed with this tomato. I think that it's definitely going to be one of the tomatoes that I grow every year. I also have them in the raised beds, and they're doing really good too. So now I just want to see how they taste, and if they taste really good, then I'm definitely going to be growing them every year. Then we got ourselves a lot of jalapenos. and a beautiful, I think this is a chocolate beauty, like I said, pepper, and then the lemon yellow jalapenos. How fun is that? Now, I did want to show you this one. I didn't see that. I can't tell if that, I think that was actually sunburnt, because sometimes the hornworms will eat it, and if I don't catch it on time, it'll kind of dry out like this, and it'll almost look like it was kind of sunburned, but sometimes it is a hornworm. So I'm not entirely sure, because there were some leaves bitten off on the jalapeno plants down below on the driveway, so it could have been a mix of the sun, and there might have been some tomato, or tomato hornworms that got to it. So I'm not really sure, but I wanted to show that to you real quick. All right, I just had to show this to you up close, because sometimes when I'm holding that tray, it just doesn't show everything. And I'm just really liking these tomatoes so far. And I feel like, considering how they're growing in that pocket, that this is a good amount of tomatoes, because I had planted a couple of them throughout the green stalks on the left side. So it's not like the entire green stalk is planted with these tomatoes, although I'm sure if I did, we would have a really good harvest of tomatoes. And those are the 3 tiers. So, I mean, this is pretty good. And I'm growing other things like cucumbers, peppers, the jalapenos. I did put a couple sunflowers in there, and I think there might be a couple of Greek dwarf basil in there too. So it's growing a lot of different stuff. So the fact that I got the amount of tomatoes that I did, and they're not all growing in every single pocket, is pretty impressive. And then I just had to show you the aromas up close. Very impressed. Well, that one has a little spot on there. Hopefully I could just cut that off, but I love growing Romas. They're some of my favorite tomatoes. I make salsa with this. I actually still have a couple of gallon Ziploc bags in the freezer of plum tomatoes from last year's harvest. So I have to make some batches of salsa still, but I'm very happy so far. And as I said earlier, I think Roma Bush tomatoes is one of the tomatoes that I'm going to be growing every year in the green stalk, at least a couple, because I think they're doing pretty good. Now I wanted to show you the cucumbers. So these two, and I can't remember, I think this might be the Armenian. I had straight 8 Armenian, and I'm trying to think, oh, Haas, the Haas F1, like slicing cucumber. I can't remember, but this was from one pocket so far. Aren't they beautiful? And I think there's going to be more, because I believe I saw some more flowers. So I hope we get more. And then we got these two, and I believe, you know what, this actually looks like straight 8 to me. So this one might actually be straight. There was another one up high. I don't know if you saw that, but I didn't grab it. I need to go get a little step stool and grab that out of there. But these are beautiful. And I saw these last week, and I'm like, oh, I need to harvest those. But I'm like, I'm not harvesting them until I share with my friends. So I'm very happy that we got to get these today. And then with the other green stalk, the one that has the trellis of the lemonade and the black green stalk with the trellis in between, we were able to get these. And I have harvested a couple of cucumbers off of those, and those have been doing pretty good. So I'm very happy that I was able to get these too. Now, I'm not sure how these will taste. This is always a hit or miss. I do get cucumbers like this. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. If they are bitter or whatever, I'll just throw them away, or I don't know, save the seed or something. I don't know. But either way, I'm very happy we got these two. Well, friends, I hope that you're enjoying your summer green stalks. And I know for some, including my zone, it is already fall seed starting time, which is hard to believe because it's still so very hot here. But I do hope that you are enjoying your green stalks. And if you've decided to do a fall garden, that you are enjoying your fall seed starting. And I also want you to know that I greatly appreciate every single one of you, and I always look forward to turning this camera on and sharing about the green stalks. And I also want you to remember this, friends. I want you to be encouraged, stay encouraged, and I want you to always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.